All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into something really exciting.
Hmm.
We're going to help you get ready for a traditional Chinese medicine therapist job interview.
Okay.
So if you're thinking, hey, I really want to work in TCM,
Yeah,
this deep dive is for you. We've
absolutely.
got a super helpful career guide, an interview guide with actual questions
Oh, wow.
that they might ask you, and we'll even throw in some tips on how
Okay.
RoleCatcher's AI can, like, boost your chances.
Yeah, that sounds amazing, actually.
But before we get to all that good stuff, let's start with the basics.
Okay, that sounds good.
So what does a traditional Chinese medicine therapist actually do?
Right.
Well, the career guide tells us it's like this cool blend of ancient wisdom
Hmm.
and modern practice.
Yeah,
It's all about helping people achieve this balance and well-being
yeah.
using things like, herbal medicine,
Yeah,
acupuncture, dietary guidance, all that good stuff.
it's pretty incredible how it all ties together.
It is. It is.
Like, it's not just about treating symptoms,
Mhm.
but about preventing disease and taking this holistic approach to health.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, looking at the whole person.
So if you're passionate about helping people live their best lives,
Yeah.
this could be the career for you.
For sure.
But okay, let's be real. Before you start picturing yourself in
Yeah.
that Zen treatment room,
Right.
we got to talk about how to nail that interview. Right.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's where RoleCatcher swoops in,
Yes.
like a superhero.
Exactly. It's like having a secret weapon,
Yeah, yeah,
in your back pocket
totally.
to help you get ready for that interview.
So they have this CV resume builder that uses AI to, like, make your application stand out.
Amazing.
And then they have these interview guides, which are packed with
Yes.
practice questions.
Okay, so you can be super prepared.
Exactly. And then the best part?
What's that?
Their AI actually gives you feedback on your answers and helps you tailor them to the specific job you're going for.
So it's like having a personal coach
Totally.
who knows exactly what the employers are looking for.
You got it. You got it.
That's incredible.
So now let's actually dive into some of these real interview questions.
Okay, let's do it.
So the first one from the guide is, and this might seem straightforward,
Mm-hmm.
but it says, what experience do you have in traditional Chinese medicine therapy?
Right.
Seems simple enough, but what are they really trying to find out?
Okay, so they're looking beyond just the words on your resume, right?
Okay.
They want to see your passion for KCM. They want to know why you love it.
Right.
So instead of just listing your credentials, like, bring them to life,
Okay.
with examples.
So how would you, like, suggest somebody approach this question?
I would start by telling your story.
Okay.
Like, how did you get into TCM?
Right.
What drew you to it?
Right.
And of course, you want to mention your formal training, like your degrees, your certifications, apprenticeships, if you've had those.
Yeah, yeah.
But then go a bit deeper. Talk about your clinical experience.
Okay.
Did you have an internship that really impacted you?
Yeah.
Have you volunteered anywhere and learned something valuable?
So you're saying, like, show them you're not just, like, book smart, but you've actually got
Yes.
that hands-on experience.
Exactly. They want to see that you're ready to go.
Yeah, yeah. No, what about follow-up questions?
Okay, yeah.
I feel like they might dig a little deeper into, like, specific therapies.
You're absolutely right. You should be prepared to talk about your experience with,
Right.
like, herbal medicine, acupuncture, Tui Na massage. The career guide actually gives a really good overview of common conditions
Oh, perfect.
treated with TCM, so that's a good thing to brush up on.
That's a great tip, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. It says,
Okay.
how do you provide patient-centered care?
Okay.
This one feels a little bit more nuanced.
It is, and it's really getting to the heart of
Yeah.
what it means to be a TCM therapist.
Mm-hmm.
It's about understanding that each patient
Right.
is an individual
Yeah.
with unique needs.
Yeah.
It's not just treating a condition.
Right.
You're treating a person.
Yeah, okay, so how can you show that understanding in an interview?
I would talk about your process.
Okay.
So how do you gather information about a patient?
Okay.
Like their medical history, their lifestyle, their
Yeah.
goals?
Yeah.
The career guide really emphasizes a detailed intake interview
Uh-huh.
where you ask open-ended questions and really listen to their story.
So it's almost like being a detective, you
Yeah,
know? You're trying to put all the pieces together.
Yes, to find the root cause
Yeah.
of the imbalance.
Okay, and once you've, like, gathered all that information, then what?
Then you explain how you involve the patient in creating the treatment plan.
Okay.
Emphasize that open communication, building trust, that
Yeah.
therapeutic relationship.
This is where I think RoleCatcher's AI feedback can be so helpful.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
because it can actually analyze your answers
Wow.
and suggest ways to make them even more patient-focused.
Like you said, it's like having a panel of TCM experts giving you feedback.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Okay, so let's go to question number 3. It says, how do you stay current
Okay.
with the latest developments in traditional Chinese medicine therapy?
Mm-hmm.
Lifelong learning is crucial in any healthcare field.
Absolutely. Yes.
So what they're really asking here is, like, how do you show that
Yeah.
dedication to constantly learning and growing?
Exactly.
So instead of just saying, oh, I'm committed to lifelong learning,
Right.
you've got to give concrete examples.
Yeah. So, like, what are some professional journals that you read?
Okay.
Are there any conferences that you've attended, workshops you've taken recently?
And I think it's also great to mention, like, if you're really passionate about
Yes.
a specific area of research or any kind of specialization, because
absolutely. It shows you're really engaged.
yeah, you're not just keeping up. You're
You're excited about it.
Yeah.
You're on the cutting edge.
exactly. And be ready for them to ask you a follow-up question like,
Right.
what's a recent development in TCM that has influenced your practice?
Yeah. Have an example ready to share.
Yeah, have that specific example, because it shows
Yeah.
you're not just like absorbing the information, but you're actually
Yeah. You're putting it to use.
using it
You're evolving.
and evolving as a therapist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to question number 4. This one says,
Right.
how do you approach patient education and communication?
Okay.
This is all about, like, explaining complicated things in a way that patients can actually understand.
Exactly.
So it's not just about knowing your stuff, but it's about communicating it effectively.
Right. And you got to remember, a lot of patients are new to TCM, so you got to meet them where they are.
Okay.
You know, can you explain things clearly?
Right.
Can you break down technical terms?
Yeah.
Can you use like analogies or
Right.
visuals to explain concepts?
Yeah, like the meridian system or the flow of qi.
Exactly. Yeah.
Those are great examples. And the career guide actually mentions that some patients might be skeptical
Right.
about TCM or have misconceptions.
Yeah.
How do you suggest addressing that in an interview?
I think it's important to acknowledge that skepticism is natural,
Yeah.
especially when you're encountering something new.
Wow.
So you can talk about how you approach those conversations with empathy,
Good.
with respect, validating their concerns, but also providing evidence-based information.
Right. So it's about finding that balance between honoring their perspective
Exactly.
and advocating for the potential benefits of TCM.
Yes, absolutely.
This is where, again, I think RoleCatcher's AI feedback could be super valuable. You know, imagine being able to practice your answers to these really nuanced questions
Yeah.
and get feedback on how to strike that perfect balance.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Okay, we've covered a lot already. Are you ready to tackle a few more questions?
Absolutely. Bring them on. Yeah, let's keep going.
Okay, this one focuses on collaboration. It says, how do you incorporate traditional Chinese medicine therapy into a patient's overall treatment plan?
Right.
I'm guessing this is where they want to see, like, how well you work with other people.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all about showing you're a team player.
Okay.
You understand that TCM often works best as part of a bigger approach.
Right.
So they want to know that you're comfortable working with other healthcare professionals,
Okay.
whether it's a doctor, a physical therapist, even a mental health counselor.
Right. So how do you show that collaborative spirit in an interview?
I think the key is to share specific times
Okay.
when you've worked effectively with other practitioners.
Okay. Yeah.
Remember that challenging patient case in the career guide where the person was struggling with chronic pain and anxiety?
Yeah.
You could talk about how you might work with their doctor
Okay.
to adjust their herbal formula based on their medications.
Right.
Or maybe you could mention a time when you referred a patient
Yeah.
to a physical therapist for support alongside acupuncture.
That's a great way to bring it to life, you know?
Yeah,
With those real examples.
absolutely.
Really shows you understand when TCM is best and when it might be better to, like, bring in other people.
Yeah, and speaking of expertise, I think it's really important
Yeah.
to have a good grasp of the benefits and limitations
Right.
of TCM.
Okay.
You need to know when to refer a patient to someone else.
To a specialist, right.
Exactly. It shows you're putting the patient's well-being first.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Let's move on to question number 6. This one says, how do you ensure patient safety and prevent adverse events
Okay.
during treatment? This one feels a little more, like, serious.
It is, but it's so important.
Yeah.
Patient safety should always come first.
Right.
Especially with therapies that some patients might not be familiar with.
Okay, so what are some key things to talk about when you're answering this question?
Be specific.
Okay.
Don't just say, I'm committed to patient safety.
Right.
Show them how you do it.
Okay.
Talk about your procedures, sterilizing needles, preparing herbal remedies, keeping your treatment space clean.
Oh.
You know, how do you screen patients for allergies or potential problems before you start treatment?
So it's like having a checklist in your head of all the things you do to keep everyone safe?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And I think it's also worth mentioning any courses or certifications you have that relate to safety protocols.
So it shows you're like proactive and always learning.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great tip. Okay, on to question number 7. It says,
Great.
How do you handle ethical dilemmas in your practice?
Right.
Ooh, this feels like a tricky one.
It can be, but it's a chance for you to show your integrity, your commitment to ethics.
Right.
They want to know that you can identify conflicts of interest, that you understand patient confidentiality, you know, that you can make good decisions.
Okay, so how do you even prepare for this kind of question?
Yeah, that's tough. You can't predict every situation.
Right.
But you can have a plan for how you'd approach it.
Okay.
Start by getting familiar with the ethical guidelines from professional TCM organizations.
Yeah.
The career guide lists a few.
Perfect.
So that's a good place to start.
Okay, so once you've got that foundation, then what?
Then think through some scenarios.
Okay.
What if a patient asks you to treat something that's outside your scope of practice? Right. What if you think a patient is being abused?
Okay. Those are good ones to think about.
Yeah. And it's also helpful to have a list of resources you could consult.
Right.
Like ethical codes, mentors, even legal counsel.
So it shows you're not just going to wing it.
Yeah, you're thoughtful.
You've got a process.
Exactly.
And speaking of resources, I can't help but think how amazing it would be to have RoleCatcher's AI analyze our answers to these tough ethical questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Imagine getting feedback on your approach.
That would be so valuable.
Yeah.
To make sure you're really showing your commitment to ethical practice.
Okay, let's move on to the final question.
Okay.
From the interview guide, it says, how do you evaluate the effectiveness of your treatments?
Okay.
So they want to know that you're focused on results.
Yeah, that you use data to inform your practice.
Not just that you think it works, but you can actually prove it with data.
Yeah.
So the career guide actually gives some great insights into how TCM therapists can measure progress.
Okay.
So you could talk about how you monitor their symptoms, how you assess their well-being, you know, and get feedback from the patients.
Yeah, so it's a combination of objective and subjective.
Right. And don't forget to mention how you use that data
to
actually change their treatment plan.
Yeah, what if someone's not responding well?
Yeah.
What do you do then?
It all ties back to that continuous learning, right?
Exactly.
If the data says something's not working, are you willing to try new things?
Yeah, explore new options, consult with others.
So they really want to see that mindset.
Yeah.
That you're committed to providing the best care possible.
Absolutely.
This deep dive has been so insightful.
Yeah,
We've covered so much.
We have.
From like the basics of TCM to actual like tips for the interview.
It's been a great exploration.
Yeah.
And I hope our listeners are feeling more ready for those tough questions.
Yeah. But before we wrap up, I feel like you have one more piece of advice for us.
Yeah, I do. I think it's important to remember this field is all about continuous learning, but it's also about passion.
Okay.
So as you're going into your interview, think about what parts of TCM really excite you.
Right.
Is it the herbal medicine?
Yeah.
The acupuncture?
Right.
Maybe it's the way that TCM empowers people to take charge of their health.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, let your enthusiasm show.
I love that, it's not just about knowing the answers. It's about showing your personality.
Yeah, your passion.
Yeah, for TCM.
Exactly. Genuine excitement. It can make a big difference.
Yeah, totally.
In how you connect with the interviewers.
Okay, so think about how your passions align with the specific job. It shows them you're not just looking for any TCM job.
Right.
You're looking for this job. And speaking of finding that perfect fit, I feel like RoleCatcher's AI can help with that too.
Absolutely. Their AI can actually analyze those job descriptions.
Oh, wow.
And highlight keywords related to specific areas of TCM.
So you can tailor your CV and your answers to match what they're looking for.
Exactly. So, for example, if the job description emphasizes pain management, you could highlight your experience with Tuina massage or acupuncture techniques.
That's like having a personalized career matchmaker.
It is.
I think we've given our listeners everything they need to rock those interviews.
I hope so. Remember, preparation is key.
Yeah.
Review that career guide. Practice those questions and use RoleCatcher's AI.
Yeah.
It's like having a team of experts helping you to put your best foot forward.
And most importantly, go into that interview with confidence.
Yes, absolutely.
And let your love for TCM shine.
Good luck, everyone.
We're rooting for you.
We are.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
And good luck with your job search.
Best of luck.